We are in week one of our Macro Blueprint Group Program, and this week it is all about optimizing our hydration as well as trying to establish how much food we should be consuming for our goal. So, as a recap, with the action items that we have for this week in regards to hydration, we are looking to focus on our morning block. Now, I like to break the day apart so that we can start building out doable practices. What is doable is repeatable. And in regards to water and focusing on the morning, it's important to realize what water does. Water, is satiating. So sometimes we think we're hungry, but we're actually thirsty. Water helps move the nutrients to the food that we're eating and all the good stuff we're eating and moves it to the cells it's supposed to. And also, water helps us eliminate waste. So that's why we want to focus that on the morning. And in addition, we really don't want to be up peeing in the middle of the night. So by front loading our water, we can ensure that we will be going to bed and being able to start getting some restful sleep. So the first part of our day, our goal really should be about 100 ounces of water a day, but we're going to break that down. In the morning block is the first 4 to 6 hours of the day. We're going to try to get 50 ounces of water in. How we're going to kickstart that is going to be with our morning margarita. So the morning margarita is juice from half of a lemon, or you can use lemon concentrate to make it even more simple. 2 to 3 squeezes of that lemon concentrate, and in water mixed with a quarter teaspoon of either Himalayan sea salt or Celtic sea salt. Now, the salt is actually what opens our cells up because we know that water is not enough to actually really, if you're someone who's drank water and just pees all day long, it's because you're actually not absorbing it. So we want to start absorbing that at the cellular level, and that is what the salt does. The Himalayan sea salt and Celtic sea salt is very different than the table salt. And basically, the minerals that we really are prioritizing or pulling from the sea salt is potassium, or are potassium, magnesium, and sodium. Those three elements are key to the electrolytes, so for energy. But salt will wake up the gut, so your digestive tract begins working in the morning after being in the rested state during sleep. And lemon is to wake up the metabolism. So we want to let our body know that we're no longer resting, and now it's time to get up and go and digest and help us start our day. So there are the action items surrounding water, and this is action item number one, basically 1A and 1B for this first week. And the other action items are basically we're look at tools that we need. We discussed and in our getting started guide as well, tracking tools to be able to see how much food we are consuming so that we can be a little bit more mindful. But not only that, it's really hard to have ideas of what we should be eating or how much we should be eating if we don't know how many calories we're actually currently consuming. So while we will be tracking macronutrients or building out our macro blueprint, because everybody is very different, we need to understand what calories are, what makes macronutrients a little bit different than calories, and we need to have a baseline of the energy in terms of calories that we're consuming so that we can make adjustments, not only in these 4 weeks, but down the road so that you guys can get to, toward your goals. So when we look at calories, calories are actually made up of macronutrients. So this resource is available for you to read a little bit more, but calories are made up of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. And for every gram of carbohydrates, it's 4 calories. For every gram of protein, it's 4 calories. And for every gram of fat we consume, it's 9 calories. So we went over how do we actually, determine for our goals how many calories we should be eating. I created a table for you to be able to go through and calculate this yourself. So as a coach, I do this for my clients. I use a little bit more of a complex formula. However, this is a formula that works really well and allows for adjustments to be made. So what you're going to do is, it's great to have a pen and paper here. If you did not already do this, you can do this with me here. You're going to have a pen and paper. You're going to use write down your body weight, and you can use a calculator. So we have your body weight, and we're going to multiply your body weight by a number here. Now, this number, as you can see, there's 3 categories. It's a lose weight, maintain weight, and gain weight. And we also have different activity levels: lightly active, moderately active, and very active. And underneath that, excuse me, if you're not sure what you are, underneath that, we have that listed out for you, so you can see where, what you will be multiplying your body weight. So for example, if I'm a lightly active female, and we say females typically are going to be on the lower end of those numbers. So if I'm a lightly active female, which means that I maybe work out 2 days a week, but I sit at my desk all day and I'm getting about 2,000 steps in, and my goal is to maintain my weight. I am going to multiply my current weight by the number 12. I'm then going to write that number down. So just say that number, if I write that number down, it's 1,700. Okay, and I'm just using an example. Okay, I have that number written down. Now that I have the calorie target for my goal, which is to maintain my weight, I now need to go in and start prescribing myself a baseline of macronutrients. Those macronutrients are going to be what makes up those calories for the day. So protein is the first one for me to go through. What I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply my current body weight times 0.7. Okay. I'm going to write this number down, or you're going to write that number down. What this number equates to is the amount of grams of protein that you should have in a day. So say my number is 100 grams for the entire day. To give you an idea of grams, a 4-ounce piece of chicken is going to be about 25 grams. So if I want to get to my 100 grams of protein a day, I would need to have 4 of those, as an example. But I write that number down. In 1B, you're going to see I multiply that answer. So that number that I wrote down, I'm going to multiply that times 4. So if my number was 100, that was my 0.7, I'm going to multiply that times 4. And now I'm going to write down 400. This is the amount of calories that protein equals. For every gram of protein, it's 4 calories. So if I have 100 grams of protein in a day, and that was the number I came up with, 400 calories will be allotted to protein for the day. The next number that I'm going to go over is you're going to do is your fat intake. That fat intake, we're going to look at 2A here. You're going to multiply your current body weight times 0.35, and then write this number down. So, for example, that number might be 55. Okay, you're going to write that number down. This equals the amount of grams of fat in the day as a minimum. All right. Now, you may consume more. That's perfectly fine. But right now, we're just setting these numbers up as a nice baseline. When we look at that number, we're going to go to B. We're going to multiply that number. So I said 55 was a number that I got. I'm going to multiply that by 9, because there's 9 calories in every gram of fat. And that's going to give me the calories from fat in my day. Okay. And then the last one to fill in of the calories of your macronutrients is going to be your carbohydrates. So what I'm going to do is you're going to add 1B, which is the calories from protein, plus 2B, which is the calories from fat. And this is going to be the calories that you have remaining. And those calories remaining will go to your carbohydrates. So if I had 400 calories from my protein for the day, and I had 550 calories from my fat for the day, right now 1B plus 2B, those number together would be 950. From there, I write that number down. The total calories that I had from the beginning, from that graph, I was 1,700. So I'm going to go 1,700 minus 950, and that brings 850 calories left over in the day to go to carbohydrates. You'll see in C here, I'm going to then take that 850 and divide that by 4, and that is going to be my total carbohydrates for the day. What we do with these numbers is we had in the Getting Started guide, you'll see tracking apps that we can use. MyFitnessPal Chronometer is another one. You will download one of those apps. You will go to the goals screen and you will input your calories and those macronutrient targets for the week. Okay. So this week, your goal is not necessary to hit any of those macronutrients, but your goal this week is to just get in the habit of tracking your intake. And you have the calories that we have set. This week, we're going to focus on those calories. My number was 1,700. The target for the week for your action item for the week is going to be plus or minus 10% of that calorie range. So if 1,700 is the number that I got, I'm going to track all the food that I eat, and I'm going to try to focus on hitting between 1,530 calories and 1,870 for the week.